Hello and welcome to this podcast. My name is Emma and this is my creative podcast where I talk about my knitting projects and all creative things that I can be doing. And today is a regular episode where I'm going to share just knitting and my finished objects and my works in progress. And I think no plans because I've already got a lot of things to show you today, I think. So let's get started. So the first finished object that I have is one that I started last time, and it's the November balaclava mini. I think that last time I said September, but maybe wrote September or November. I don't know. Anyway, the link is going to be down below with the link to the pattern, so with the right name. But this is the November balaclava by Petiteknit that I knit for my toddler. It doesn't seem like it. Because I didn't do a gauge swatch because I thought, I already knit with... I think it's because I already knitted a pattern from her in another yarn, but with the same gauge. And so I thought, I'm just going to use the same needles, which was not a good option. So I went down one needle size and then what was recommended in the pattern, because I usually need to go down a few needle sizes. Anyway, and so when I started, I was like, it's gonna be fine. This is brioche, and so it extends a little bit after wearing it. I haven't even blocked it. Anyway, and so it turned out to be too big. It was already a bit too big when I finished it, and then after wearing it a few times, it just got bigger and bigger. And so this was supposed to be for my toddler, and I knit this size. I'm just going to have a look at my notes so I don't tell you. I didn't write that. Sorry. But everything is in my referee page, which will be linked down below. Anyway, and so you start with the top of the balaclava here, with this rectangle, and then we pick up stitches on the sides, and then we knit back and forth around, and then we join at the bottom, we knit the neck, and then we pick up the stitches to make the ribbing around the face. And it's super easy, super quick to knit, and very comfortable to wear, because I've been wearing it instead of my toddler because it's too big and it's not comfortable for him, of course. He already has some beanies, but I wanted to make him a balaclava because when he's wearing his helmet on the bike and on his walking bike, he can get really cold, especially on the ears. And so I wanted something to cover the whole head and especially his little ears. And yeah, it wasn't comfortable because it was too big, so for the helmet it was still too big. And it turned out to be exactly the perfect size for me. And I tried it a few days ago, and it was so comfortable. I tried it on my bike under my helmet. We had negative temperatures, and so it was really cold. And so usually in the first 10 minutes I'm quite cold on my bike, and then the rest of the time it's fine, but then with that it was just perfect. It was so comfortable. I was even a bit too warm. Anyway, and so I've knitted it. I really like the color, actually. I chose some pink because, well, my toddler loves pink, and so I wanted him to wear it. So I chose a color that he would like, but also pink that I would like and I would like to see every day. So I'm glad I chose this pink because I can wear it and I like it. And I knitted in, let me check, in Drops Kid Silk and Lima. And I made no modification to the pattern. And I think that if I were to make it again, especially for my son, I think I still want to do it, but maybe for next winter. I will not use mohair, but I will use a thicker yarn, and I think it will be a bit more comfortable. And that's it. The second finished object that I have, I don't have it with me, and it was a beanie that I wanted to make for myself. I'm going to take the yarn. This was a test knit that I made. Oops, I'm losing the yarn. This was a test knit that I made for Ines, who is Vert Knit. I have no idea how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, I've never heard it. I just read it like a lot of times. And she has her patterns are so beautiful. So I've been wanting to try them for a long time. And when I saw that she had a call for testers for a beanie, which was the Citrine beanie, I thought it would be perfect to start with her patterns. So I wanted to make it for myself because I don't have any beanie. And I wanted to make it so it calls for a DK weight yarn. She made one with Mondim yarn, which is I will put a picture so you can see it while I'm talking about it. But anyway, Mondim is a fingering weight yarn, and she held it double. And I hesitated for a long time to do that because I had some Mondim that I really like the colors, so I thought it would be good. But then I thought, oh no, let's make it with Manchelopi from Wooldreamers, which is this yarn. It's so dark, so I don't know if you can really see it, but this is an unspun yarn. And let me show you how it looks like. So it comes double-stranded already, as you can see. And this is, I think, 230 meters per 100 grams if you hold it double with the double strands. But the thing is, it's bigger than DK when you knit it. So I made my swatch using it double because I thought that it would be so squishy, so comfortable, quite warm, and it was quite nice. I didn't take my swatch. I thought I took it. Anyway, I can show you the beginning of the beanie. So this was the beanie here that I started with that. And it was really squishy, but it was kind of too dense. And not kind of, it was too dense, I thought. And it was quite hard on my hands to knit with them. I had to go quite a few needle sizes to get gauge. And it was nice, but it was hurting my hands. And I thought, this is not the right yarn choice if it's so hard on my hands like this. And I thought I would break my needles, which I already did once to get the gauge. So I thought that maybe I would try and I would re-swatch with just one strand, which is what I did. So I started, and it's a bit of a mess here, but since it comes already double-stranded, I had to unravel to make a bow of this from one of the two strands and knit with the other one. So I had to make two bows, which was a bit hard. And as you can see, it's really like a mess here. And then when I made my swatch, it was right gauge, it was perfect. And so that's what I did. I made the swatch. So my first one that I made it with half twisted rib, then I made the cables, and then I knitted a few rounds of faux rib, which is the pattern, and it was good. And then when I knitted my gauge swatch with just one strand, I just did, I think, the half twisted rib. I don't think I went further because I had already, because this was a test knit, so I couldn't take like a lot of time to remake a whole swatch, block it and everything. So I think I went ahead and started the beading like this. And so width-wise, it was good. But then when I arrived to the top of the hat, so it's a bottom-up hat, which you can see here because I started just ribbing the bottom. And when I arrived at the forerib, I thought, that might be a little bit too small. I don't know why. I didn't check again my gauge, but my row gauge was too small. So I had to have more rounds in order to get the same amount of centimeters as written in the pattern. And so it turned out to be too small. And it turned out to be exactly the size of my toddler. So I knitted the size 2. There are 4 sizes, I think. And I knitted the size 2, which was perfect for my head circumference. And it turned out to be the height of the size 1. So it's okay. I mean, at least someone is going to wear it in the house. And so the good thing about it, I thought, was that this, since it's unspun yarn, the hat weighs 21 grams. It's nothing, really. It's so lightweight. And since it's not really thick, even though it has a brim, a folded brim, it can go under a helmet. And so instead of having a balaclava, my toddler can wear this hat, the Citrine hat, under his helmet, which is really nice. And it's so beautiful. And I love it in this color. And also I think that what happened is that I swatched with this ball here, and I made sure that I was really being careful not to pull on the yarn, because if I pull it, it becomes thinner, because it breaks really easily since it's unspun. And I had in my stash, I had this, which was still in a cake, like this in a plate. But I already had 2 balls made, and I think that one of the 2 balls was one that had been made pulling the yarn a bit too tight, and so it was a bit thick and thin at some places, and thinner parts were really thin, and I think that's what made it too small. So if I were to do it again, I would swatch again, but making sure that I really have, like, I really make a ball, like, just very not tight at all, so the yarn doesn't get thinner. And yeah, that's it. And this was such a lovely pattern, a lovely test knit. It's not always the same, it's not always the case, but I really loved this one, and the hat turned out to be so beautiful, so I really want to make another one for myself, and with the right gauge this time and the right size. And that really made me want to knit some other patterns from Ines, so from Vert Knit. And she has, in the same kind of cables, with the same cables, she has made a jumper and some socks, I think. So this is the 3rd design with these cables, and it's so beautiful. I really like it. And okay, that's it for this hat. Now the next finished object. I'm sorry about that, but I also don't have it. So if you watched the last episode, the jumper that I was wearing was the Caleo jumper from Caidree, and I had used Melody from Drops, and in a kind of blue-green color, which was really beautiful. And I knitted 5 balls, but I only needed just a tiny bit of the 5th ball. So I had 1 whole ball and I didn't know what to do with it. And so I wanted to make a neck for my toddler, because, well, when it gets really cold, I think it's really nice. And he's often cold in the back, and he tells me that his back is cold. So I thought it would be perfect to have the neck and just like the top part here and the top of the back covered with wool. So I didn't look very far. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough with one ball, that I would have the right gauge. So I took a pattern from Drops directly with this yarn, which was called, I'll put a picture too because he's wearing it today because, well, it's cold. And so when he goes outside, he always wears it. So he's got the beanie and the and the neck. And it's called the Neck Soft Snuggles. And I loved it because it was yarn from Stash, and so I finished this Stash yarn. And the one that I had, Drops Melody, was a Stash yarn that I had forever. So finishing all the 5 balls was perfect. I thought it was so good. It felt really good to finish it. And that's it. I'm not going to talk a lot about it. It's just, it's really nice. It seems really nice to wear, so it doesn't complain at all. So yeah. The next finished object that I have a lot today because I feel that I haven't filmed for a long time. And it's a pair of socks. So those are just vanilla socks in Mondim from Retrosaria. And so this is a yarn which is non-superwash, nylon free, so 100% wool, and it's sock yarn. So it's supposed to be quite sturdy. And I love wearing my socks in Mondim. And so the main, did I write the colors? Maybe I wrote them. No, I didn't. But I wrote everything in my Reverie page. And so you have all the information, all the colors, all the time. So in case you're, you want to have more information, and if it's not in my Reverie project, don't hesitate to write a comment, or I'll answer. But in case you're looking for some information, I usually have all my project pages made. So if you want the colors, they will be written there. And so what I did with those ones, I had 56 stitches. I did just 3 rounds with the contrasting color. I did a heel flap and gusset, and I did some anatomical toes, which is one where I don't do any decreases on the big toe side, and I do my decreases on the other side only. So I have one right and one left sock. And you can see that it looks like this. Whoops. Maybe you can see it a little bit better like this. So this is the right one. And as you can see, I didn't do the decreases here, but I did them here. And then the crafting at the top. And I've made only the 2 last rows, the 2 last rounds with decreases on the big toe side too. And that's it. I haven't worn them yet because I wanted to show them to you. Looking nice, but I will be really glad to wear them now. It's a little bit big around the ankle. I think that I might have to try doing one less row for the heel flap. And that's it. I think that's all I have to say about those socks. So happy about them. I made the leg quite long so I could have really warm woolly socks. And I had them on my nails for quite a long time, so I was really glad I finished them. So now I can finish my partner's socks that I had on my needles for almost a year now, I think. So it was about time that I finished it. And the last finished object, which I consider as a finished object, but you'll see I didn't I still have my ends to weave in. And this is this cardigan. This is the teddy deer cardigan that I test knitted for Sabina, so who is Caidree. I did a lot of test knits lately, and I had this yarn in my stash forever, for 5, 6, 7 years maybe. I don't know. I started a jumper with this yarn and it turned out to be too big. I didn't know what to do with it. It had a hoodie and it was a little bit floppy, I think. So I kind of left it aside, not kind of, I just left it aside for a few years, not knowing what to do with it. And I was looking for a pattern to use this yarn because I really like it. It's a bouclé yarn. And so I had made a swatch with this bouclé yarn, which is alpaca bouclé from Drops, and some silk mohair, which was a light gray, because I thought that it was just a little bit too white for me. And so when Sabina had her test knit, I thought this is just perfect. I wanted to make a cardigan with this yarn. And so when I saw the test knit, I thought, this is the time. I need to knit it. And so I knew I had the right gauge. I knew that it was a cardigan I wanted to make. So I applied for the test knit. Oh, and this is the yarn. I still have one ball actually. I thought I would have used them all, but I didn't. Yes. And so this is just a basic raglan cardigan. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it correctly, but anyway, I'm just going to try it on. So I still have my yarns to weave in, but otherwise it's finished, and I still have some stitch markers at the front because I didn't sew the buttons yet. I don't know how well you can see it. So I did the smallest size, which is XS. Yeah. And the only modification that I made is that I tapered the sleeves. Otherwise they would have been a bit too long. And the button band took me a week and a half to knit, and I was only knitting on that. But I think it's so worth it. So it's a double knitted button band, so you pick up the stitches and then you knit back and forth, taking all the stitches along the way. And so she has video tutorials. It's very well explained, no problem with that. It takes forever to knit, but I really don't mind because it gives a very finished look. So this is it. It's a cropped cardigan, but it's easy to adjust it, to adjust the length. And so where do I have them? I have the button holes here. And so, yeah. And I wanted to make some ceramic buttons. So that's why I haven't put them yet on the cardigan, because I'm making them at the moment. So I made them last week, and now I have to put the glaze on them. And then they need to get fired in the kiln, so it takes a bit of time. But I was also really, really unsure about the color. So I wasn't sure if I made them like really white, just basic white. If I made them gray. I thought about like a little bit like blush pink. But maybe that would be too beige. Since there's some gray in it, it would be a little bit weird. What do you think? I didn't want to put any color in my buttons. I thought that some like very light green would be very like sage green, or I don't know, something like that would be really nice. But then I thought that it would be harder to wear with like it. This is a really basic cardigan that I could wear with anything. But if I put some colors in the buttons, it would be harder to wear with everything. And so that's why I didn't want to put any color in my buttons. I made 2 or 3 sets. So I need 4 buttons, and either I made 8 or 12. I think I made 12. So I could try different colors. But let me know what you think. Should I make it them white, gray, or another color? I don't know. But I love it so much. It's so squishy, it's so soft. It's just like a very big cuddle. So really nice. And so I thought that I would use I had 5 balls. I used only 4, like I was almost finished. I had almost finished my 4th ball. So I only have 1 left. So now I'm wondering what to do with the last one. And I'm unsure. I wanted to do a hot water bottle cover. This is always so hard to say. Anyway, and so I thought that I would maybe make that, but I wasn't sure about the bouclé yarn for that. I think it's so hard to find something to do with bouclé, so I don't know. If you have any pattern, I would love to hear your thoughts about that, about what we can do. If you have any idea of the pattern of what I can do with 1 ball of bouclé yarn. So this is 140 meters, I think, for 50 grams. Yes, 40 meters, sorry. So, yeah. And I wasn't sure about the hot water bottle cover because it has 5% of polyamide. So it's 80% alpaca, 15% wool, but 5% polyamide. So I wasn't sure about this. Let me know what you think. And I think that was the last finished object. Let me check. And now for the works in progress. I'm going to start with the one that you've already seen, which is my Cumulus blouse for my sister. The circumference of the cable is a little bit small, so it's going to be a bit hard to show you, but I've made a bit of progress on it. I don't know if you can see correctly, but I've done the first part, so you need back and forth because you have a V-neck here. How can I show it to you? It's so hard. So you have the V-neck here, so you need back and forth, making the increases for the raglan. So very basic, very easy to do, very easy to follow where we are. And now I joined in the round because I finished the increases for the V-neck, but I haven't separated for the sleeves yet because we still do some increases and then we separate for the sleeves. So the how is it called again? Anyway, so for the armholes, it's bigger than the length of the V-neck. And I haven't done the I-cord yet for the neck, and so I'm gonna do it later. But I've checked with my sister, so she tried it on. It's the right size. I'm making the size 3. I think it's medium. This is the right size, and I checked with her because I wasn't sure about the I-cord because she needs it to be very practical. I wanted it to be a sweater for her that would be like an everyday sweater that she could wear, but also something that she would look nice in, that she would like to, when you feel comfortable in something, but also you feel like pretty in it. So I wanted it to be like this for her. So in order for it to be practical for her, she told me that like 3/4 length for the sleeves would not be comfortable. So that's what I did for mine. Actually, I lengthened the sleeves, and so bracelet length, I think, and not with an I-cord, so she could still pull them up. So maybe with some ribbing, and same for the hips to have some ribbing. So that's the modifications that I'm going to make. Otherwise, the I-cord around the neck, and that's it. Oh, and sorry, I didn't say, but I'm using brushed alpaca from Drops, which is alpaca and silk. So it's so soft, it's so lightweight, and very, very comfortable to wear. I wear mine quite a lot, actually. So this is a slow progress, but it's gonna be nice, I think. And she really liked the color. And actually, I'm making that for my sister because I knit her another jumper 2 or 3 years ago, and maybe 2 years ago. And it was I can't remember. I'm gonna write the name down below. But it was a pattern from Fiber Tales, and the fit wasn't right. So it was both oversized, but then the size of the sleeves was too small. And I don't know, there was something wrong with the with how it turned out, like how do I say that? Not the sizing in itself, but the way it fits with the fitting, maybe, yeah. So she doesn't really wear it. And so what she liked about this pattern was the fluffiness of it with the mohair. And so I thought that I would make something that looked a bit similar. So she chose like a dark gray for the other one. But so I hesitated to knit her a dark gray again, or this blue that I knew she would like. And I was glad I went for the blue because she was really happy with this color. So yes. This is it, and the next work in progress that I have is a pair of slippers. Again! Do I talk about the slippers in every episode? Maybe. If you're tired of it, I'm sorry. So those are the double slippers by Sandnes Garn, and yes, I knit a lot of them because, well, this is the third pair for my toddler, but he's growing, so of course he needs another pair, and he needs a pair for school and at home. So he's grown out of his slippers at school, so I need to make some new ones, and he can still wear them at school, but then he's not able to put them on by himself, and so for his autonomy it's not really good. And so yeah, I started a new pair. For the sizing, I wanted to make, so first I'm gonna start with the yarn. Do I have, yes. It's Alaska from Drops, and so this is exactly the same yarn as the one that is recommended in the pattern, except it's not from Sandnes Garn because I can't get my hands on the Sandnes Garn yarn, so well, I use this one, and so it's 50 grams, 70 meters, 100% wool. So those are slippers that we knit and then we felt them. And I think this pattern is really nice. And so it's double because I'm going to show it to you, but we knit this part here, then we knit the two parts of the foot, and then we fold it and we put one part inside the other one. And I kind of like this color now. I was quite surprised when I got it because I thought it would be pink, and it was more lilac, and I don't really like purple yarn or purple in general. But I don't know, it's heathered, and I don't know if you can see it, but so I start to like it. I think knitting with it made me like it more. So I got 3 balls of this. And so I'm knitting this, the fourth side, which I think is 31-32, which is way too big for my toddler. but I wanted to have a hole that would be big enough to be able to pass the foot easily, and also to be comfortable for chubby ankles. They're not so chubby anymore than now that he's growing, but still. And so I did that. So for the number of stitches, I also knitted a little bit further. I think I knitted 6 more rounds than recommended. And so now, I don't know if you see it, but we start casting on the stitches here instead of just casting on with long tail cast on and then joining in the round. I'm using Judy's Magic Cast On, so I don't have to sew at the end. So as you can see, it's just already done. And so we knit here in the round until here. And so what it does is that when we put this inside, this makes the back of the foot, and this is the opening. So the more we knit before we separate for the 2 parts of the foot, the bigger the opening will be. The more you cast on stitches at the beginning, the higher it will be. So if you want some kind of boots, you can actually cast on a lot more stitches and then decrease them. If you want to have some kind of slippers, slip-ons, I think it's called, with really thin here, you can cast on a lot less stitches and increase progressively until here. Anyway, you can like modify a lot of this pattern to have something that fits you better. And so what I did here was that I casted on enough stitches because I wanted the slippers to be large enough. So I wanted to have something large, not so much for it to be quite high. And then I knitted longer, so it would be, I would have a wider opening for the foot and for the ankle. And then I'm going to make the length smaller and go to the length that is for the second size, which would fit my toddler better for the length. And since I made a bigger opening, I knit further, I'm going to knit less for the foot than for the second size. I don't know if this was clear enough. I feel like that was a lot of modifications, but it's just, I think it's quite nice to be able to do something very adapted to what we want. So this is my first slipper. So I'm knitting the first part of the foot, and as you can see, I've done some decreases here on the top for the instep, and I'm going to do the decreases at the end for the toes. And I've already started the second one because I don't know, I felt like I didn't want to finish the whole first slipper and then do everything again for the second one. So I started the second one, and I'm knitting on this one at the moment. And as you can see, it's just the beginning. So this is it. And that's it. So I hope they're gonna fit properly. So I hope to finish them in like maximum a week, so I can felt them and he can wear them quite soon at school. And that's it for this one. And my last work in progress that I have is going to be a long-term project. Oh no, it's not the last one. Let me talk about another one before. Sorry. I told you at the beginning I would have a lot of things to talk about. Yes, because since my Citrine hat turned out to be too small, I thought, well, I really need to have another hat for myself because I need a hat. I've been a knitter for years and I don't understand how I still don't have a hat yet. Anyway, so let me see if I have the other ball of yarn so I can show it to you. But anyway, so this is also a test knit, and this is a test knit for Nelle. I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. From Apella.Knits, and she's the same designer as the schema pullover, that schema slipover, that I knitted and that I love. And so I saw this test knit for a very basic beanie, 2x2 ribbed beanie, and I thought it would be perfect, and at least I wouldn't have a problem with the size. Anyway, so I applied for the test knit, and so this is either a top down or bottom up beanie. So I said that I didn't really care which one I tested, so I'm testing the top down pattern. Both are going to be in the final pattern. It's just you have the two options, so I think it's really nice. And it's using DK weight yarn, and I needed 100 grams, and so I still had in my stash. Yes, I'm stash busting this year, like at this moment. I love it. And so I had this yarn for a long time. When I say a long time, for me, it's not just a few months. No, it's a few years. This one, same as the Alpaca Bouclé, this could have been in my stash for at least 5 years. And when I say that, I kind of like remember when I bought it and where I lived at that moment. So I can think, okay, I've lived here for maybe 2 years, this here for a year. So I can kind of count how many years I've had it in my stash for. And this is more than 5 years. Anyway, so I was glad I could use it. So I still had 2 balls of Drops Flora, which is a blend of wool and alpaca, of this blue yarn, which I really like. I hesitated a lot to do a beige one, a grey one, or blue one. I still had a lot of the beige yarn, and this one, not a grey one, a brown one. Brown I didn't have enough, so I hesitated doing some stripe. Brown and blue, this could have been really pretty too. Now I'm thinking I should have done that maybe. I don't know, anyway. And this, I had 2 balls, so this was perfect. And I thought that it would be a bit stupid to use the beige one when I had exactly what I needed for this one. Anyway, all this to say that I had this yarn in my stash, I could use it, it was perfect for this test knit. So we start at the top for the crown. I can't remember how it's called, but you make this round. It's not magic. How is it called? I can't remember, sorry. But you make a round and then you pull on the yarn inside, and it closes the circle here at the top. It closes the top of the beanie, and then we make some increases to like on different parts, and I think it's really nice the way it looks. I really like it. It seems really small like this because it's ribbing, but it gets really wide. So it's gonna fit me, I know. I tried it on already. I put it on bigger needles, bigger cable, and it fits me. It's really nice. And so I just have to knit in the round now that I finished the increases for the crown. I'm just knitting in the round, and it's gonna be triple folded. It's gonna have a triple folded brim, so it's gonna be so warm and squishy. And I think that's it. I don't have anything else to say. Just, I love it because I knitted a hat and I had some stash yarn that I'm using, so really good. I think within a week it's gonna be done, so it's good. And I think she's planning on releasing the pattern mid-March, maybe, I think. So yeah. And since it's still a weather to wear some hats, it's quite good. And so the last work in progress that I have, I've wanted to start to knit this for quite a while now, and I've never had any long-term project that I wouldn't want to finish like straight away. But I kind of wanted a blanket, a woolly blanket that we could use. We could be using with my partner at the same time. So it had to be wide enough and something a bit versatile. So I wanted to knit the wrap and wrap shawl from Purl Soho, which is a free pattern. And so it's a fingering weight scarf that I'll be using as a blanket. And it's very basic, it's in garter stitch. And so you have 2 triangles and you make it using short rows. So you don't have to pick up the stitches or anything. And so I'm using these 2 colors. And I love this combination. I love this forest green. This is just a color that I love. I'm gonna make a jumper with this yarn too. So this is Holst Garn Supersoft. So it's a thin fingering weight yarn. And that's it. So I started. This is gonna be my first color. And I just started it. I knit 3 rows, I think. It's back and forth, and yeah. Am I going to be able to show it to you or not? Yes, maybe. I think this is focused. Yes. So yeah, just this is gonna bloom quite well. I made my little swatch to see if I like the fabric, and that's it. And this is gonna be my knitting for a few months, and I'm going to knit on it like now and then, not in a rush at all to finish it. It's just something easy that I can knit on. The pattern is so easy. The rows are quite long. Like I can't just say I finished my row and I'm coming. No, this takes forever to knit 1 row, especially at the beginning. But anyway, it's gonna be so nice to knit on for a long time. And I bought this yarn to make this, and I bought more so I can make a jumper with it. Holding it double or triple, I can't remember. But I think this would be I bought the yarn to make the, how is it called? It's a pattern from Caidree with thick yarn. I can't remember, but I'm not gonna go into my plans now because I think that it was such a long episode already. So I'm not gonna talk about them today. But yeah. Oh, and one thing is I feel like I finished a lot of my projects because I've been knitting more like just one project at a time. So at the moment, even if it doesn't seem like it, but I was thinking, I'm just knitting this hat at the moment. I think I'm gonna finish it. I'm knitting just those two projects at the moment, and then yes, that's true. I started this, but not so much to knit on it. Just I wanted just to have it started, and now it's on the side. But I'm going to finish this. Those 2 are quite more. Like this is a test knit, so I need to finish it, but I want to wear it too. And this is very much needed. So yeah. And I just started those 2 once I had this one finished. And so I'm kind of doing it like one at a time, and it feels really good to be finishing some projects. So yeah, I feel like I rushed through this episode, but I had so much things to talk about, so I really hope I didn't forget anything. But if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask in the comments. And so yeah, I hope that you had a good time, that you could be knitting, crocheting, or doing whatever you liked while you were watching this episode. And I will see you soon. Bye!